while we get this conversation started, a quick reminder for all of our attendees, this is a fireside chat. And what a fireside chat means is you have the opportunity to ask Felicia your questions almost directly. Put them in the chat box, and then I will relay them to her as they come in chronologically. So as soon as you think of something, pop it in there, and we'll make sure that we have an opportunity to talk to Felicia and get her expertise and knowledge as it applies to whatever question you have. Also, another quick reminder, and then we'll get to it. I apologize, but it's very important, this particular reminder. As you know, when you register for this event, you have the opportunity to donate as part of your registration. You're certainly not required to, but if you do choose to donate, a quick reminder that your money, all of it, 100% goes to a nonprofit, a charity that's run out of Rockaway, New Jersey, a charity run by one of my dear friends, Jenny DePaul. It's called Project Kind. They do a lot of homelessness outreach, especially right now for women who are really bearing the brunt of the burden when it comes to financial difficulty, single moms especially. So any money that you are able to donate, $5, $1, $10, whatever it is, that will go towards putting a roof over the head of a single mother and her kids and putting some food on the table as well. To make it easy for you to donate, all you have to do is text the word Project Kind to 44321. I'll remind you again at the end if you didn't catch that though. So without further ado, let's talk to Felicia Harris. Felicia, it's good to have you with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me.
Absolutely. And I just have to tell you, your background is stunning.
Thank you. I was saying that I had to get my daughter out of here.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. It's like, and quickly like pile whatever debris is like in a closet and shut the door. And as long as nobody else can see it, it's all good. But you're in fashion. So we should expect you to have a beautifully decorated home, and it is. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I can't take my eyes off of it. Let's talk to you about, so what we're talking today is about creating your future by leveraging your network, which is something that not only do you have expertise in, but you also have firsthand knowledge of, because you used your network, you leveraged your network rather to create your business and form. You're the CEO and founder. Tell us a little bit about what your business does, and then how did you use your network to get that going?
Yeah, thank you. So, I'll first start by saying, in a startup, most of your time is spent by doing two things early on, and that's fundraising and getting traction. And at Inform, we're literally disrupting a process in the retail industry that is manual, and that is enabling brands to provide product knowledge to frontline sales teams. And in the retail industry, we consider retail sales associates critical in the process. And I think we all experience that not being able to shop if you're a shopper like I am. And so the way we were able to leverage our resources and our network was really being able to show traction to our investors. Having 20 plus years in the industry, our co-founders had to really call on retailers and brands to prove success to our investors. We had to get in the door and demo and really prove traction in order to continue to get investors. And that's quite hard, because what we were really trying to prove is that brands were able to provide immediate access to video content, to product knowledge details, and all of the information that customers really need before they transact. How sales associates are able to romance and curate product details so that customers were really parting with their wallet before they were transacting. So it was a big lift, and in order to do so, we had to call in and sort of leverage our network.
Yeah. I like that you use the word romance. I don't actually require much romance when it comes to parting with my money.
So you don't need Inform?
I'm just like, here it is, take it all. So how did using your network, A, make that happen? And then B, why is that so important for all of us? Because you had, and I should, there's some fine print here, you had a big network already. And there's some of us who are like, oh my God, I have like 20 people on my Facebook page. Like, how do I leverage that network? So why is it important first?
Well, I would say that Inform is just one example. And for us, in a retail industry that's very insular, right? So getting to key stakeholders, executives, sort of getting in the door was critical. And to an outsider, that would have been really impossible. And I think that's really what stopped the digital transformation and disruption that honestly inhibits a lot of growth in our particular industry. Yeah. In general, I would say when we look at the word network as it relates to business and professional goals, it's quite exclusive. Like everyone sort of understands the term network. Go to sort of a big event, hand out cards, network.
Right.
But it's much broader. And it impacts our daily lives when you think about it in a social sense. We should be thinking about network as it can be beneficial for our communities and our families. It is important to network because it is valuable and it lends itself to our needs, the advice we need, not only to advance our professional goals, but also our personal goals.
Sure. That makes sense. So what do you do if you don't think you have a network?
I love this one because everyone thinks they have a network.
Yeah.
And everyone has a network. I think that you really have to take the time to evaluate and take stock of what you do have and value the community around you. Make a list of the individuals who impact your life, your boss, your mentors, your friends of friends. We all have some degree of a social life. And we all, if you're present, you've been touched, you've been impacted, you've been influenced. So I believe we should start making a list of who those individuals are. We've all been referred to a job, to a doctor, to an attorney. Start making a list. And before you know it, you have a network. Right? Like very organically. I think also now more than ever, it's important because, that first tier of network sort of, you can start building on that. And before you know it, you start to have this inverted sort of triangle of an extension of a broader network that you can continue to build on and leverage as you move forward in life.
So when you're in the process of building this, I mean, is there a state? So I'm going to say, let's say I'm a mom who hasn't been working for a while. Maybe I'm watching this because I'm interested in getting back in the workforce. Mm-hmm. Is it really just a matter of reaching out to neighbors and saying, who do you know, or can you connect me, or like, what is the whole, like, can you give me a do this first, do this second, do this third?
No, I would say it really is those are the first steps. Okay. Is really communicating, and I think we have to start being transparent and trusting of the individuals around us. No one can help you if they don't know the problem. Right. When I started to open up about Inform and really, and I trusted a few, right? I didn't tell everyone like, hey, I'm going to leave my amazing job and start Inform. Right. I calculated who I could tell, and honestly, who were the likely individuals to advance the goal that I wanted to achieve.
So strategy in there as well. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some strategy. And before I took that step, I actually had a clear list of what I needed to accomplish, right? The industry, the needs, the goals. And then I sort of aligned a list of individuals who were most likely to help me get there. And then I started reaching out.
Can you, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And sort of like I mean, it was very strategic. I aligned the list of goals, what I needed to achieve, and the most likely individuals to help me get there as a first step.
Okay.
And those individuals, some helped, some of the individuals that were not able to help referred me to individuals that were able to help. And one great example of that was a gentleman by the name of Dion Ridley, who became our technical advisor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you could tell, I'm not a coder. I know a lot. I knew that I wanted to develop an app. I didn't know how to make one. Yeah. And so I was saying to a friend, I really have a great app. My co-founder and I have a great app idea, but how do I get started? And he said, I know a great guy who worked at Microsoft.
Oh, he probably knows what he's doing.
My husband worked with him at Microsoft. You should speak to Dion. One conversation with Dion led to, do you need a tech advisor? I'd love to help. Dion led me to a venture development partner, Arabella, who was our first investor.
Wow. So it's like one thing, just it led to the next.
You have to get started. But I knew that I needed the domain expert in technology.
And sometimes it's a matter of, yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because sometimes I think to myself, if there's an event or whatever, is this something, you do have to be somewhat strategic about where you go and where you spend your time. Because if you went to every event, you'd be going to every event and doing nothing else. But sometimes it is those kind of one-offs where you ask somebody a question and you really maybe don't have high hopes of it going anywhere, and then boom, it's like they know everybody that you need to know. It's just a matter of, you're absolutely right. I think you one foot after the other, and you got to start.
And you can't assume what people know or how they can help you.
Right.
You really have to detail what you want to accomplish and start. Who are the likely individuals around you to help you accomplish your goals, and start the conversation?
Can you reach out to somebody? Let's say you have somebody in your network, and I'm putting that in air quotes because maybe it's somebody who you know peripherally, or somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, but they may be a really good fit for whatever it is that you're looking to do. Can you reach out to somebody and say, who you haven't spoken to in years, or how do you do that?
Absolutely. And it happens more often than not. I think the best way to do that is to be direct.
Yeah.
I hope all is well is, people hate doing it. But get right to the point. I hope if they have a family, I hope you and your family are doing well. I know we have not, connected in several years. Get to it.
Don't try and sugarcoat it, right?
Just get to it.
Okay.
I am reaching out to connect because I would love to schedule a coffee. Just get to it.
Okay, got it.
People appreciate it.
I think you do. Sometimes I feel like a jerk if I haven't talked to somebody in a while, and I'm assuming I'm not the only person who feels that way, and I didn't know if that was okay to do. Can I do that and not feel like a jerk? Give me permission not to feel like
you could do it. And the only thing, listen, you have a 50-50 chance of success. If you don't do it, you have 100% chance of failing.
Okay, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. It's a numbers game. You're absolutely right.
And I tell you, it's a head thing.
Yeah.
Send the email.
Okay. Send the email. Make the call.
Be direct.
What do you need to aim to be or do in return? Because I think calling on people to be part of your network or leveraging your network, then you really don't want it to be a one-way street. What do you aim to do in return, or who do you aim to be for these people in return?
It's such a great question. And generally the person asking always feels that they have nothing to give.
Right.
So they don't ask.
Yeah.
And it's not true. And you should always ask. You bring what you have to the table.
Right.
And it's simple. Is there anything I can do for you?
Got it. Who's the good business? Who's a good referral for you? Who's the whatever?
It's just, is there now, it's like, now I've asked you for something. Is there anything I can do for you?
Okay.
Simple.
And then follow through if they say there is. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. There's I did like a conversation at Cornell, and there's a student, Molly, just smart. I mean, Molly is smart. And she needed a reference for an internship at a fashion brand. She stayed on top of me. I got her in, and it led to another brand. She got in. Molly called me on her way. Oh, she packed up at She graduated from Cornell, and she calls me on her way home. And I hear trucks driving by, and she's like, Philita, I just want to say thank you so much. And I'm thinking about all the influential people I've met. You are at the top of the list. And I'm hearing trucks go by, and I'm thinking, this Molly is just, I mean, this Molly is on top of it. I'm like, who are parents? Just so smart. And so Molly, and she says, I would love to just catch up, and I hope all is well. And, how's Kennedy? That's my dog. How's Kennedy? I'm like, Molly remembers Kennedy? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So 3 days later, I get a text from Molly. Hi, Philita, I don't know if you received my voicemail, checking in. I'm home. And my parents would like to invite you guys to the shore.
Wow.
Whenever you're comfortable, I know social distancing.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not going to the shore, but
yeah,
she had something to give.
Yeah, absolutely. Her thanks and gratitude. And then, that's all it is. And
that's just an example.
Yeah. That's a great example. And it's interesting too, you mentioned that she asked how your daughter was, and not only did she remember you had a daughter, but she remembered her name. Sometimes it's those little details that show somebody you were actually paying attention. It doesn't even need to be business related, but you were actually paying attention when they were speaking to you, and you remembered them. Whether that means you had to go home and jot it down on a piece of paper so that you could recall next time, but that stuff makes a difference.
Now, 1 week later, Molly emails me, hi, Philita, will you give me a reference to Mont Blanc?
She is
absolutely, Molly. Yep. Of course. Forever you have a reference.
That's amazing. That's a great example, because it shows it from start to finish, how you keep that relationship.
As we get older, we forget these are basics. They never go out. They will forever.
They're forever. Yeah. Tenets of networking and relationship building, which is what network building is really. So let me ask you this, and it sounds like Molly recently graduated because social distancing, you were talking about the shore, but that kind of leads me into the next question, which is, given everything that's going on right now with social distancing, pandemic, everything is virtual. Does that affect or does that change your strategy at all when it comes to networking, or who you reach out, or how you reach out? Can you reach out to people that you maybe necessarily wouldn't have had access to before? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it actually increases your opportunity, because you I believe have more chances of getting in contact, right? Like people really do have time. Yeah. If it's 15 minutes, they have 15 minutes to get on Zoom, right? Yeah. They will take a call. Yeah. I also think you can do creative things like send a $5 Starbucks card, or a Fika card. I'd love to have coffee with you. Here's a $5 card. Let me know when you're available. Like,
that's just a great idea.
Cute little. Especially with an executive, if you're a college student, and you know, are trying to establish a mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a great little tip.
That's awesome.
You would want to buy them a coffee anyway, right? So
right. If you're meeting them in person, you would absolutely do that. Sure.
you would do that. So this is sort of, and if it's an ongoing sort of mentorship with, I do have these mentorships. I'm in my mid 40s and I still have mentorships with senior executives that they're still pouring into me. I may buy them a cocktail. So I would send like a, you know, $50. They'd be like, Felicia, you're ridiculous. But I'd be like, just have a cocktail, you know. It's just, they'd be like,
it's a great strategy though.
But
and
it's sort of like a cute little,
yeah.
No one needs at that level, they don't need anything, but it's a nice gesture. And I believe that you have to sow seeds right now. Positive gestures go a long way. People are depressed. Yeah. People are sad. People have lost family members, income. You know, people are navigating so many things. There's, you know, a lot of social pressures happening, and we're all in it together. Everyone is trying to figure it out. Like, I think we have to really look at life differently, and we all have to be on one side. I think you really got to look at it like that. We're all in this together. We all need to embrace this together. We need to network together. Yeah. And social graces, acts of kindness, networking together, positivity, thank you. It goes a long way.
It does, and it makes you stand out. Sometimes it's those little things that really bring you, you know, above the rest of the crowd. Yeah. And that's certainly important, especially when you're not able to meet somebody face to face. Let me ask you this: is there a point? And we only have 4 minutes left. I have a million questions. Is there a point where you should start to feel, I guess I'm asking for a hard number, and I don't know if that exists. Is there like, okay, I've got this many people in my network, and like, so I'm making real progress. Is there like a target number we should look to have? I know that's a very specific question, but some people are like, I don't know, what is it, 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? Or
like on LinkedIn and all that?
Yeah. Or anywhere.
It's so fake news.
Wait, I'm a former journalist. I take offense to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not that word. Not that. No, you know, I'm
kidding.
No, you know, I don't know what to do with these numbers. When I first started out on Instagram, I was all over it, and I have all these followers. I don't know, like more than 200 of them, and like there's no real connection anymore on these social media channels. I think that people want to connect with you and follow you because you have a message. Yeah. And I don't think you should I certainly don't feel pressure to deliver the message of the day, right, in that aspect.
Sure.
I don't think anyone should feel pressure to live up to a threshold of a number. I think you have to connect authentically. Yeah. And I did not do that early on. I was like, well, everyone else, how many followers?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
That is not the future. Okay. It's not. Authentic connections, one by one, is the future.
Okay. It's better to have 100 real connections than 10,000 people whom you have no idea who they are.
And follow up with the 100 or the 10. And really, because, you know, those 10 will lead to the next 10, 20, 30, 50. Like, and that's really how you build a solid community. Think of your network as a resource that can be utilized to network and execute your life and business plan.
Yep.
Think of your network as a resource that can be utilized to network
or execute a life or business plan.
Okay. I'm going to do that. Okay. I have one more question for you. For our attendees, if you had to leave them with one kind of like, oh, if you took away nothing from this talk except this one point, I'd be okay with it. Is there a most important strategy, tip, tactic, mantra, whatever it is that you would like everybody to know?
Authentic connections.
Okay.
Authentic connections.
Perfect. That's easy enough. That's your 2-word story.
Yeah.
Felita, if people have questions for you or they're interested in learning about your business or what you do, where can they get a hold of you?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, that's where it's at. Yeah?
That's what, yes.
All right. You heard that. Go to LinkedIn if you have a question for Felita. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I have 2 quick reminders for our attendees, though, and they're about the 2 events that we have this week. Tomorrow at 8:30, that's Thursday, we have mindfulness training with Pause to Be Present. And then Friday, it's our last Friday event of the summit, which I can't believe. We have Pilates at 8 o'clock. And then we have a self-coaching course at 10 o'clock on Friday. And then I have my final interview on Monday with Chanel Jones from the Today Show. Also, quick reminder, if you're interested in donating to Project Kind, you can do so. Text Project Kind to 44321. It's a fabulous charity. Their website, projectkind123.org. Felita, you were amazing.
Thank you
so much for being a part of this. I'm going to take all of that advice you gave and I'm going to put it to use as soon as I hang up this call.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you. Have a great week. And attendees, we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.